it.
That good?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good? Okay, we're gonna go action on 1. My name is Mark Escribano. I'm the executive producer at Standard Vision. Okay, I'm happy with this take. I think we do one more for safety. About a year ago, we started working with Library on their new media platform, which is a large LED installation. We proposed a live action concept that is intended to draw people's attention to these very important figures from history, an artistic interpretation of their lives.
It featured 6 different important historical figures that were relevant to Los Angeles' history in some way, shape, or form. We created 6 different vignettes with these historical figures.
They are based on the concept of environmental portraiture, which is, more or less the concept of photographing a subject within a space that represents their story. The idea was that we do a single angle that incorporates different aspects of their life. Some of these aspects are representational. They're intended to be historically accurate as much as possible. And then other aspects are somewhat symbolic. We're shooting at a high frame rate and then playing back at a more normal frame rate, which then extends the time dramatically. Usually when you're shooting extreme slow motion, you go out of your way to do a lot of fast movements. We kind of wanted to approach it a little differently, so we had the characters do these very simple gestural movements. There are portions of the video where it'll just look like a person sitting there or standing there. If you're just glancing, it should just look like a photograph, but if you look more closely, you might see something floating through the air, and then you might realize that the character is actually moving. We wanted to play with the idea of attention, that you get rewarded the more attention that you pay to the image.
This was actually one of our first shoots where we involved a lot of props and heavy building for sets. We had a production designer, Eugene Johnson, who was amazing.
We were able to acquire quite a few accurate period pieces.
I think that in total there were probably 150 pieces.
What's important here is that you don't want the details to distract from the experience, so they have to be quite good. We had Ariel on costuming and Taylor on makeup, and they just did a fantastic job.
They were phenomenal. I mean, the characters look totally like they just stepped out of the 1800s, 1900s. The actors were actually sourced from a volunteer submission process that the library put together.
We had an open call for talent that involved people sort of writing in and saying why they would want to play this character, what this character means to them. The point wasn't that they looked identical to the character. That's not the point. In some cases, we actually had people that were related to the characters. And then other people were just super excited. It was an opportunity for them to play their idol. In your mind, you're kind of thinking about that moment and kind of planning what's your next move.
Yeah. It was just such a special treat to have all of these different people who were actually interested to be playing these historical figures, and it meant something to them. When everybody came to set and they saw the set and how they saw all of the props and all of the items and how the rooms were put together, and then they saw themselves playing that character, I mean, there was such an excitement. Out of all of our clients at Standard Vision, to be honest, the library is one of my favorites for the reason specifically that they're very interested in promoting art and artists.
We don't always have the luxury of working with collaborators that are so interested in legitimate cultural relevance.
The library wants to show something that's maybe different or unique, or you can learn something from, rather than just being a beautiful image on a screen.
Everybody who was any part of this project had some connection to the library, and it was always positive, and I would include myself. I felt very lucky to be able to participate in a project that maybe at some point will be part of someone else's connection to the library.